welcome back to my channel. I am Dr. Nikki. If you've always been watching my video, I will say welcome back. And if this is your first time you're watching my video, please kindly subscribe below. Believe me, I'm going to be talking about finding the right university in the UK. And believe me, you want to watch this from the beginning to the end so that you get all the tips that you need to study in the UK in finding the right university, which is very, very important. Oh, when people talk about studying in the UK, most people believe London, Manchester, when you mention those big cities. But believe me, UK is divided into 4 nations. We have England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. You could study in any of these nations. No matter where, is most important thing is which of the university in the UK, in the whole of UK, has the course that you want to study in. Firstly, you want to look at what is your course of interest. What course interests you? Oh, okay, this is my line of interest, whether you're coming for undergraduate, master's, or PhD. Oh, this is my course of interest. This is my research interest. That's the most important thing that you need to get at the tip of your hand for, because that's your starting point. Believe me, that's your starting point. It's not about, oh, my friend is studying in London, I want to go to London. I have a family friend in Birmingham, I want to go to Birmingham. It's about your course of interest, which university offers the course that interests you. Believe me, it's either you're coming for undergraduate for 3 years, for a year master program, or for 4 years for PhD program. You want to enjoy every bit, every day, every minute, every second of that course, of that program. You don't want it to stress you. You don't want to be like, oh, I regret ever coming to the UK. Oh, I regret ever picking this course. Oh, I regret we even send me. You don't want to regret it. You want to enjoy every second that you spend. After you've gotten the course of interest, another thing you want to look at is the university and the course ranking. Believe me, you might be like, oh, I want Oxford, I want Imperial College London University. Oh, this university is great, it's among the top 10 when you compare to Harvard in the US. I want to be able to go to those kind of schools in the UK. But believe me, at times you might have some schools that are in the top 10 of the top rated university in the UK. But when it comes to your course, they might not be top. They might not even be in the first 50. Believe me, they might not be in the first 50. So it's worth checking when it comes to the university you want to be, what's the rating, and when it comes to your course, how well rated is this university when it comes to your course. Believe me, you all have to check all this when it comes to you finding the right university to study. Let's assuming now you've gotten all the university on your list, like 5, 6, 7, that, oh, these are the universities that I find that is well rated, that have the course I want to study. And when it comes to the course rating, they're excellent. Believe me, you want to put those ones that are excellent at the top. Even some might even be offering your course. They might not be among the top 10, among the top 20. You still want to list them. Don't just discard them, because you might still find them very useful as I go along in all these tips in finding the right university. You want to look at their structure and content. What is the structure? What is the content of this course? If you're in sciences, believe me, you want to look at, oh, I've gotten 5 universities, some offer a year program, and then some comes with, let's say, industrial practice, what they call internship or placement. And you'd be like, wow, that would be very great, because believe me, whether it's for 6 months internship, whether it's for a year internship, you've gotten that edge already. UK experience. That's the edge, what they call UK experience. A lot of people come to this country, you apply for work, and they tell you, oh, fantastic, you've gotten wonderful working experience, but you don't have UK experience. You having that at the back of your hand, like when you just study and you have that placement opportunity, you've gotten that UK experience, and then let me tell you, how the sky is just the starting point. Because for you to break edge in this country is all about having that UK experience at first. Even though it doesn't matter, but no matter how, whether for a month, whether for 2 months, don't worry, in my next video, I'm still going to talk about more when it comes to about getting work experience in the UK. But right now, let's focus on getting that right university first, which is very important. Getting the right university. You find this course structure and the content, you might be like, oh, maybe for your program they don't even have placement, they don't have any internship. That's fine, but you might want to look like, oh, this is what interests me, the course I want to study. And then you might look at their content and be like, oh, this university have this one doesn't have this in their content, this one have that, this one doesn't have that. And be like, oh, but this area that this university have this content, and like, oh, I think I love this part. That's the way you narrow down all your university. I love this content. I want to know more in this area, but this other university don't have that aspect. Just a little bit here and there, and then you'll be narrowing down your university before you finally apply. Another thing you want to look at is the graduate prospects of that university when it comes to getting job for international students. Believe me, you want to know what percentage of the international student getting from undergraduate to masters or from masters to PhD. It's not necessary to be in the UK, it might be in other parts of the country, they further their education or get job, but it's worth also looking at least it will give you an inspiration to be like, oh, that means the percentage of people that get job offer from this university, especially when it comes to international students, is highly rated. Next step is the admission requirement. What is the admission requirement for all these universities that you've listed down, wherever it might be in the UK? Some universities accept 2-2 or 2-1 minimum for their admission program. Some other program that could also get you into getting that master's program that is called top up. The top up program in the UK is for 9 months. You might have that maybe the university you've listed down doesn't have that top up. You might worth searching more for the university that have top up. It might not be in your course of interest, but it might be something related to it. If you've done that top up for 9 months, then you can then apply to your university of choice for your master program. And I think that's another big of hope for those that might be like, oh, I didn't have 2-2, I didn't have 2-1, and I want to proceed in my career. Yes, you can proceed in your career, you can progress in your career, you can take your career to another level by having to go for that top up. The same thing applies to those that want to do their undergraduate. Some universities will tell you that, oh, before you can start your undergraduate program, you have to do what they call foundation for a year. And believe me, applying for undergraduate studies in the UK is quite different from when it comes to masters and PhD that you can apply directly to that university. You need to go through UCAS, which is known as the University and College Admission Services, to apply for your degree program. And in that, they will also require some personal statement. You could Google to find out more on how to write the personal statement, or if you have friends and family, you could ask them on how they can help you in writing your personal statement. They might put it through, give you some tips, help you to proofread. If there's any comment they need to add for you to remove some things or add some stuff to it, they could add it to you, but you have to write it yourself. It's worth doing. You just have to learn how to do things yourself, because by the time you come into the UK and you've built the habit of you doing things yourself, doing your assignments yourself, doing some research yourself, believe me, it's going to go a long way to help you in your studies in the UK. It's going to help you because that's the foundation, doing things yourself, finding the right information yourself. And it's not bad asking questions. You could ask people. Another interesting thing about studying in the UK is that you don't need IELTS, you do not need TOEFL to get admission into the UK, which will be like, oh my God, it's going to be like a lot of relief for some people, because when it comes to you going to do like, oh my God, you need to do some English writing, listening, reading, speaking. It's like headache for some people. Like that's the good news. But there's still requirement for you. It's like you have to have at least C6 in your English, whether in WAEC, in NECO, in GCE. You have to have at least C6 in your English. If you don't have C6 in your English, then you would be required to do those. Getting all of this information from beginning, finding the school you want to study, whether in England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. You find the university that meets your course of interest. You find the university that has that graduate prospect for the international students. Another thing you need to look at is money. Remember, it's worth finding out what is in your pocket, how much you can afford. Because apart from you paying your tuition fee, you need to consider other things as well. I will get there along the line. But you need to look at it like, oh, maybe a course you want to study at university, part of the university you've listed is having their tuition fee for £25,000 for international students. When you're searching for tuition fee, always know that you're an international student. Some universities offer high amount, some offer lower, and I think it's all based on the university ranking. At times you might find that some university their ranking is not even high, but the course you chose is like, oh my god, their money is even much expensive than other university. Yes, because this course maybe nursing they're number one, and it's like everybody wants to go to that university because they are ranked number one. Or maybe when it comes to medicine, they are number two. When it comes to computer science, when it comes to engineering, they're among the top 10. It might be the reason why their tuition fee is high. That's why you need to narrow down based on your pocket, like how much can I afford? How much did I want to invest in my study in the UK? So it's worth looking at and streamlining them down, like, okay, this one said 25, this one said 10, another one said £8,000. And if you think, okay, I cannot afford 25, I think I can go for the 10, then you could be like, okay, you could check points, yeah, you check. I'd be like, oh, the 10 is too much for me. I could go for the one of the £8,000. Then you'd be like, oh, £8,000, check for me. And then you start limiting, you know, reducing the list of the university you have into that. Oh, which one am I actually going to apply? But another advice I'll be like, don't apply to just one university. Apply to 2 or 3. Because at times you might find out that the 3 of them might give you the admission. Excellent. At times you might find out that one might reject you, another one might give you the admission. And after the tuition fee, I'll say you need to look at the cost of living in that town or city of your university of choice. You might find out that maybe the accommodation in that city, in that town is expensive. And be like, oh, in another university, the cost of living there is cheaper. And maybe that's the reason why you want to go for the other one. You prefer one to another. And it's been like, oh, all the universities that I found that is doing my course, that has the best deal for my program, their cost of living is on the edge. You're losing all these things as well. It's not about maybe the school you go to at the end of the day that matters. It's about the skills, the value you've added to yourself, because that's what the employers are looking for. How you can present your CV at the end of the day. Most important is how you could market yourself that really matters. Because believe me, even though the highly rated university have their own advantages, at the end of the day, that's not what matters when it comes to you getting a job in the UK. What really matters is the value that you've added to yourself, the skills that you've added to yourself in the course of your study. That's why finding the right university is also good. Having said all of this, another important thing about it is like when you have all those your list checked, and you'll be like, oh, some universities also have an open days in different countries all over the world, which is great to know. And in Nigeria, they mostly have it in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. So whichever one is closer to you, you could attend. Just browse, find the day, and then you go. And if you don't know which day is going to be, there's always an email on their website, international students or international office at whatever school.school.uk. You can always send an email to find out when the next open day will be. and you could attend. And if you don't have time to attend, I'll be like, oh, the time they want to do the next one is not convenient for you, or the area, or you're too far from that area at that particular time. Believe me, that's not the end. At least you've done your research yourself. It's not compulsory you go for the open day, but just an advice so that if you have anything bothering you that you want to ask that you've not find answer to, that is a good opportunity for you to ask question and get answer to whatever is bothering you during you could ask question there. And it's also interesting to know that most universities in the UK have international offices in most countries of the world. Some they have in Nigeria, in Ghana, in South. And so just like the university that I attended, they have lots of international communities, people from different countries all over the world. And it is interesting to know that university has offices in most of those countries. So if you are from Nigeria, from Ghana, from China, from Bulgaria, from Belgium, you could find out that those universities have an office in those countries. So you could locate where their offices in your country address is, and it's worth visiting. So you could send an email, give them a call. It will help in lots of ways, from your admission processing, helping you, giving you guide on how to fill your application form, giving you the latest information on visa requirement. When I applied for my master, there's no air surcharge. Now there is air surcharge. A lot of things has changed. The amount you need to put in the bank has changed. Believe me, we'll be treating all this in the next videos about visa application. And that's why you need to subscribe to this channel so that you can be able to hear more details about all what you need, from the choosing the right university to getting your visa approved, to arriving in the UK, getting job while studying, to the latest. That's why I say that a lot of things have changed, and that's why they have those international offices in different schools to be able to guide the students coming from those countries to study in their universities. And most important thing is that they could even help you in arriving down, in settling in that city, in that town where the university is. They will give you contact, and that's why there are lots of international societies in most schools, in most universities in UK, where you find Nigerian Student Society, Ghanaian Student Society, and so on. There are lots of society, and they have presidents that you could contact in, and they are more than happy to help you. You know, when I say helping you, it's like, oh, imagine you're going to a place you've not been before. Maybe you don't even have families, you don't even know anybody, you've got no friends in that town. You might have friends in UK, but they might not even be in that town where your university is, and it's like, oh, you're just going to a world of unknown. It's like you're saying, oh, just pack your bag. You don't even know where you're going to stay. So instead of you going there spending money on hotel for days, for weeks before getting your accommodation, it's so good to know that they could help you, maybe in getting you to Scott with people. When you get to where you don't know anybody and then you meet people from your country, you have that rapport that just flow easily. And then you'll be able to ask questions, they'll be able to show you around where to do some shopping, do something, get some stuff. It's good to know, and then it saves you money. Everything boils down to money, because you just arrive and you don't even know how much you needed, so you want to save every little penny that you have. To Scott with people for 2, 3, 4 days, spending when you get your own accommodation, it will save you all those spending that you could have spent in the hotel. And I believe that having gotten all these tips in finding the right university to study, from getting your course of interest to finding the university, in streamlining them down to the actual one you want to apply for, and places where you could get help, like the international offices in your country open days. And it's also good to know that you could send them emails as well. If you don't know where their offices is, you doubt it whether they even have offices in your country, There's always an international office at whatever university.co.uk where you want to go to send an email to. And it's interesting to know that within 48 hours, I think it's a mandatory thing that within 48 hours, they need to respond. And if you are like, oh my God, you say 48 hours, and then I've sent an email for 2 weeks and nobody replied to me, it depends on the time. Because during summer time, which is around ending of June to ending of August, that's when most of the university workers, staff get to take their holiday, because starting from September, they don't go on holiday anymore, except maybe for emergency cases or anything, but they don't go on holiday. So they tend to use their holiday during that period. And once they are out of office on holiday, they don't attend to anything work related. So that might be the reason why you've not gotten any response. And most of the time they always have this auto reply that will tell you, oh, I'm on holiday and I'll be back to office, I'll be back to work on this or so day. So when you have that auto reply, you'll be able to have your mind that, okay, after this time they come to holiday, at least you can cancel 48 hours to get response to any question. And if you have any other question that you want to know about finding the right university to study in the UK, you can put your comments below and I'll be responding to them as it comes in. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel and share with your friends and family and the people that you think are looking for how to study in the UK. This video might be of help to them. And don't forget to subscribe. Till next time.